The shadow of the earth. The ultimate tyranny in this society is not control by martial law. It is the control by the psychological manipulation of consciousness through which reality is defined, so that those who exist within it do not even realize that they are within a prison. Education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils have left school they should be incapable throughout the rest of their lives, thinking or acting other than their schoolmasters should have wished. This chapter is titled The Shadow of the Earth. I would subordinate everything that has not been brought into conscious, individual or collective awareness under the term shadow. Because I'm tackling the whole issue from such a broad perspective, the emphasis will be, as it is throughout the whole of this essay, on the creative power that the shadow has on the manifestation process of our internal as well as external realities. The shadow is commonly associated with darkness, with the underworld, with the areas where all reason ceases to make any sense. Where madness rules and our deepest fears are residing, governing the portals to the unknown. Frankly, I would say that a predominant factor of our stagnant status quo is our fear of the unknown, which results in irrational clinging to outdated versions of reality. Remember that your prover will always prove what your thinker thinks. That's how our minds seem to be working, so our comfort zones can be secured, which is one crucial factor why our current paradigm shift is not coming about easily. Helpful would be a free flow of information, which is a crucial component of any system that seeks to evolve. This requires a high degree of openness and transparency, so free will decisions can be made and overall change constructively be commanded by empowered participants. Our media monopolies, with their highly controlled, biased elite agendas, are actively preventing us from making real informed decisions. Unfortunately, our notion of free democratic systems is not only a joke, but simply an illusion. We are living in a chosen state of hypnosis. We've been kept and continue to keep ourselves in a place of uninformed paranoia. Necessity is the plea of every infringement of human liberty. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. Hardly anything in our institutionalized societies is geared towards conveying knowledge about the nature of reality, about the nature of our very beingness and places of origin. This has created and keeps creating enormous confusion and a fundamental loss of meaning amongst the majority of the Earth population. Confusion and loss of purpose that can easily be directed towards more separation, more war, more fear, a vicious cycle. The walls of prison planet Earth are kept firmly in place through frequency control. The primary control frequency for this prison of our own making is unaddressed fear. This fear is present literally everywhere. A compilation of its symptoms reads like the A to Z of our dysfunctional worlds. Our unaddressed fears have allowed the world to be organized as a huge pyramid. Incorporating authoritarian Big Daddy systems which keep reinforcing the status quo with congenial precision. Slave master games observable through our history as structural necessities of the pyramid's omnipresent pecking orders, which we diligently keep buying into. Please note the difference between I've been sold many lies and I bought into them. Billions of Joes and Josephine blogs are in constant denial of the responsibilities for the lives they have created, as well as in denial about the consequences of their own choices that have led them into the miseries they keep complaining about. There is a crucial link between our ongoing battering with our own psyche and the way how this battle extends itself out into our environment, finally reaching a scale of devastating ecocide. Correctly labeled as omnicide, as one of the judges in the Afghan war tribunals was stating it. Omnicide. Omni, all, everything. We are at war with ourselves. A world at war with life itself. The underlying threat throughout our whole planetary self-execution program is called externalization of power. The externalization of power is to a huge extent the result of the repression of our vital creative life force, which has been demonized, equated with a highly biased, perverted understanding of sexuality and pushed into deep repression. The sacredness and power of our creative forces, as expressed through sexuality as one possible avenue, has deliberately been controlled through the politics of shame. Pornography and organized religion really are part of the same game. Repressing the life force of an individual by holding key access to their fundamental belief imprints is one of the most efficient ways to control large numbers of people, while reensuring the production of chaos. Remember that oppression will always look for an exit. This lack of inner connection with source energy also fuels over-identification of our egos with rigid belief systems. All isms, including nihilism, are functioning along the same lines, delivering dogmatic answers for the burning questions of humanity, and by doing so, reproducing the security lines along which side our identity keeps reassuring itself. This in return provides an opportunity for conveniently disposing of our own uniqueness. Conformity corsets instead of following our own path and finding our own answers. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to stop them from facing their own souls. We are at war with ourselves. The denial of our own internal Hitler and victim scenarios have been adding up and are now collectively shadowing the earth. Our own internal master-slave scenarios are ways of expressing an imbalanced relationship between the so-called masculine and feminine, also labeled as mind-matter, good-bad, yin-yang, active-passive, good-evil, objective-subjective. The list goes on forever, depending on the cultural reality tunnel you choose to enter. Since we are creative on literally every level, aware or not, we better shape our understanding around the reminder that if an inner situation is not made conscious, it will appear on the outside as fate. All that is not acknowledged within the individual and therefore neither appreciated nor loved is also creative, acting itself out on the outside world due to what's commonly coined as karma or the law of attraction. Our collective shadow has become a separate body of unconsciousness. Our collective subconsciousness assumes the role of a chaos producer. Our own internal chaos is manifest in the world that we have collectively created. By giving away authority over our own lives, we have collectively created a power vacuum that is now acting on our behalf. This power vacuum, which I call the global shadow, has taken on a mundane, quantifiable structure with an identifiable global elite, staged terrorist events, financed holocausts, a highly corrupted corporate plutocratic economy with centralized banks, long-standing cover-ups of extraterrestrial life, concentration camps, organized mind control, constant wars everywhere, and endless other indicators of a fundamental system flaw. Nevertheless, it is absolutely fruitless to keep pointing towards all the corrupt, dysfunctional systems and their attempts to install an openly fascist global police state, When the hidden corruption and fears that we carry in our souls keep reproducing the conditions for this externalization of our power again and again and again. Our own unaddressed fears have been manipulated and used as efficient gatekeepers for a prison of our own making. On the way of becoming ourselves, it is of crucial importance to recognize that our shadows are our lost bodies, our secret friends. Remember that regime change must start at home. Wherever we have the greatest fears and resistance, the greatest lessons can indeed be learned. Our universal fear of the deeply hidden and unconscious parts are teachings that will ultimately lead us to discover that behind the demons and monsters that lurk within our immediate shadows are the lost treasures of our soul waiting to be recovered. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.